Wales is a land of myth where ancient legends echo through the valleys and every hill seems to hold a secret, but sometimes reality can be stranger than any tale passed down through generations. On February 26, 2016, the peaceful village of Pentyrch, nestled just outside Cardiff, became the stage for a modern legend that would shake the community to its core. That night, the quiet streets and fields near Cardiff witnessed something extraordinary, an event that would soon be known as the Welsh Roswell, drawing comparisons to the world's most famous UFO incident. This wasn't just another ghost story or local legend, it was a real-life mystery, marked by strange, pulsating lights in the sky, a sudden and overwhelming military presence, and a flood of questions that have never truly been answered. Reports began pouring in from Pentyrch and neighboring Llantrisant. Residents described seeing things in the sky that defied all logic, objects that moved in ways no aircraft could, glowing with colors no one could explain. These were not planes, helicopters, or satellites. Witnesses spoke of something silent, enormous, and utterly alien, hovering above the countryside as if observing the world below. The sheer number of witnesses, families, farmers, and even passers-by, made it impossible to dismiss as a simple mistake or mass hysteria. This was not a fleeting moment. The event unfolded over several minutes, seen by dozens from different vantage points, each account adding another layer to the mystery. Pentyrch's close proximity to Cardiff, the bustling Welsh capital, and the nearby Ministry of Defence base at Santathan made the incident even more shocking and difficult to ignore. What began as a local curiosity quickly escalated into a national enigma, grabbing headlines and sparking debates across the country. The story is woven from a tapestry of eyewitness accounts, official denials, and the relentless efforts of citizen investigators determined to uncover the truth. For Pentyrch, that night changed everything. The mystery lingers, haunting the Welsh valleys and leaving behind questions that may never be answered. The witness accounts were astonishingly consistent, despite coming from people of all ages and backgrounds. Many had never met before, yet their stories matched in remarkable detail. People described a colossal, silent craft, triangular or pyramidal, adorned with pulsating red and green lights. Its sheer size was unlike anything they'd ever seen, dominating the night sky and dwarfing the houses below. It made no sound, hanging in the air with unnatural stillness. Witnesses recalled an eerie quiet, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Some said it simply appeared, as if materializing out of thin air. There was no warning, no gradual approach, just a sudden, impossible presence overhead. Lead investigator Kaz Clark claimed she stood directly beneath it, describing it as massive, blocking out the stars. She felt a sense of awe and fear, realizing how close she was to something utterly unknown. She saw it eject fire-colored lightning toward the ground. The energy crackled and danced, illuminating the fields in a surreal, otherworldly glow. The main craft wasn't alone. Smaller orbs of light, black, red, and green, darted around it, moving with impossible speed. These orbs seemed to defy the laws of physics, zigzagging and changing direction in an instant. The sky became a theater of coordinated lights and shapes, captivating and frightening onlookers. Some described feeling a strange vibration in the air, as if the atmosphere itself was charged with energy. This wasn't a single sighting. It was a shared experience, from motorists to families at home. People stopped their cars, stepped outside, and watched in disbelief as the spectacle unfolded above them. The lights formed a structured, intelligently controlled phenomenon. Patterns emerged, geometric shapes, synchronized movements, suggesting purpose and design. The silence was a defining feature, not just an absence of noise. It was a deep, almost unnatural quiet that left witnesses feeling both mesmerized and unsettled. Pentyrch's residents weren't just seeing lights, they were witnessing an event that would change their lives and their village forever. The strange craft's appearance triggered a dramatic military response. The silence was shattered by helicopters and jets. Apache attack helicopters, Chinooks, and spotter planes swarmed the area. These aircraft flew low in tight formations, creating a scene of chaos and fear. Major roads, including the M4, were closed, adding to the sense of crisis. Radar data later suggested military aircraft had circled the area for days before the event. This hints at foreknowledge, a planned interception, not a reaction. For locals, the experience was terrifying. The official training exercise explanation rang hollow. Training rarely disrupts entire communities at night. The thunder in the valleys that night was the sound of a deepening mystery. The night climaxed with a series of earth-shaking explosions, so powerful that they rattled windows for miles around and jolted hospital patients awake in their beds. The blasts echoed through the quiet countryside, leaving people in nearby towns and villages in a state of confusion and fear. Some described the sound as unlike anything they had ever heard before, deeper, more resonant, and accompanied by a strange vibration that seemed to pulse through the ground itself. One particularly intense blast was so significant that it was recorded on a seismograph 40 miles away, registering as a sudden, sharp spike in seismic activity. Scientists and local authorities were baffled by the reading, as there had been no reports of an earthquake or mining activity in the area that night. Witnesses across the region reported seeing a brilliant green flash streaking across the night sky, followed by a large, fiery object crashing into the dense expanse of Smilog Woods. The spectacle was so vivid that it left many onlookers stunned, convinced they had just witnessed something extraordinary. In the aftermath, the area around the crash site was quickly cordoned off. Military cleanup teams arrived within hours, setting up mysterious tents and establishing a perimeter that kept curious locals at bay. The presence of so many officials only fueled speculation about what had really happened in the woods that night. The most compelling evidence left behind was a row of mature trees, each one severed cleanly mid-trunk, as if sliced by an invisible, incredibly powerful force. The path of destruction cut straight through the forest, leaving a trail that was impossible to ignore. Scorched and flattened trees, strange white marks burned into the bark, and an acrid chemical smell lingered in the air for days. The forest floor was littered with debris and a smoky haze hung over the area, making it difficult to breathe. Some even reported a bizarre, localized snowfall in the woods, despite the sky being perfectly clear and temperatures well above freezing. The snow appeared only in a small patch, dusting green leaves and fallen branches in a way that defied explanation. The secrecy surrounding the site, combined with the obvious physical damage, directly contradicted the official narrative that nothing unusual had occurred. Rumors spread quickly, and the community grew increasingly suspicious. For those who saw the aftermath with their own eyes, there was no doubt. Something extraordinary had crashed in Smilog Woods, and the military was determined to erase every trace of it, leaving only questions and a lingering sense of unease. Authorities responded with a simple explanation. It was all a pre-planned military exercise called Chameleon. The Ministry of Defense claimed the helicopters, jets and road closures were routine training. Loud bangs were attributed to training munitions or sonic booms. The message, nothing to see here. But witnesses who saw a silent, pyramid-shaped craft found this hard to believe. The number of consistent reports made mass misidentification unlikely. Military exercises are usually announced in advance. This one wasn't. The secrecy and scale felt different from normal training. When researchers filed Freedom of Information requests, the ministry stonewalled, citing national security. This refusal only deepened suspicions. If it was routine, why the secrecy? The official story left more questions than answers. For many, the training exercise explanation was an insult. Lead investigator Kaz Clark and others argued Exercise Chameleon was a cover for a real UFO retrieval. They believed the military tracked, engaged, and then covered up the crash of an unidentified craft. Clark's detailed testimony, polygraph results, and reports of threats added weight to the theory. The story gained traction in the media, including on Craig Charles' UFO conspiracies. The scale of the response, physical evidence, and official secrecy made the cover-up theory compelling. For many, Pentyrch was the site of a historic event the world isn't ready to admit. The media quickly dubbed it the Welsh Roswell, cementing its place in UFO lore. The incident became a cornerstone of modern Welsh folklore, echoing the region's history of unexplained phenomena. Even actor Michael Sheen has spoken about his own UFO sighting nearby. Nearly a decade later, the debate rages on, official silence versus extraordinary testimony. There's no definitive proof, but the mystery endures. The legacy of the Welsh Roswell is unanswered questions and enduring conviction. What really happened over Pentyrch that night? Until the truth emerges, the story remains a modern myth, whispering secrets in the Welsh hills.